Okay. So, what do you want me to do then?
You just cut this down a bit, ain't you?
I ain't got a lot of choice, have I?
No.
So, if I have it here,
Yeah.
do you think that's a big enough gap, or are you going to want more? I'm going to take the table out as well, to cut the table down.
If you cut, I reckon, well, that table is, but that
No, I need to go further back than that.
that much.
I'm going to have to keep it in line where my hand is, Sue, which is there.
Right there?
Yeah, about that. Is that enough room?
It should be.
Good morning to a very noisy Monday morning. Noisy it is, they're working over the road there. Clattering, clanging, and what's it going on. And anyway, Sunday. Whew, hot. Already been doing some work. I just figured it'd be nice to get this half of it finished. Instead of sitting there waffling on about how this is going to get done, how that's going to get done. Because I want to move on to other things. Right, as you can see, fortunately I don't have a wide lens camera. I've just got to put a bar underneath between the cupboard door and the top drawer. I've actually cut the two drawers down in order to get them to fit. The bevel has been removed. They now work. They're shallow drawers, as you can see, and they're catching the wall a little bit. And I might have got the top one a little bit too close, so I might have to jack them up a bit. But as you can see, they're in. That's a start, isn't it? I can get access to those once the slide out's been pulled back in again, so we can still get under there. Kind of debating, wrong one. I'm kind of debating whether to put a lid over them. Maybe about that sort of height there across. Just so the stuff that goes in the wardrobe itself doesn't interfere with the drawers more than anything, and we've got that backspace. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to run a bar across to here, and then I'm going to join onto that across to there, so I can hang stuff up at the back that will drape down through the floor, and then the other stuff, the smaller stuff, will come across to here. Won't be so easy to access from that side door, but it will give me more room in the long run. I have not got any room for that door to swing. I didn't think that this was going to be an issue. What the hell was I thinking? But it ain't a problem. There is enough wood top and bottom. We can put a couple of drawer sliders in there instead. We'll slide the door, and that way we'll still gain access. So this is it so far. It gives you an idea of what's going on. There's the wardrobe. We've just got to sand everything down, and then we've got to sort out all the interior. And we spoke about tongue and groove, but to be honest with you, I think we'll just put a piece of ply in there and paint it white. Go up as far as the beginning of the shower, paint that white, but we're definitely doing some kind of plastic on the wall. We've got that piece up. It's not great, but it's doing its job. We'll add some more battens to that at a later date, and then we're going to put some kind of plastic roof up to match the shower area, and then plywood over the rest of it. So yep, I'm pleased enough with this. Go back on one of the videos where I made all of this, you'll see that I put an extension on because I felt it wasn't big enough. Well, turns out I was right the first time. I've now ripped off the bottom extension. I'm now trimming off properly. In a little while I'll cut everything neater and follow that line across to that block, and then I can put a panel straight on that, batten off at the bottom of that triangular bit, and then batten off there and reimburse the skirts, and then we'll go from there. I just can't make my mind up at the moment. I don't like this carpet. I think this carpet looks silly, silly and cheap. I'd like to rip it off and put wallpaper up there, but those windows are a bit of a mess. That you got that window there and that. There is blinds for them, but with these seats being what they are, I don't know if I'll be able to put blinds on, to be honest. So we'll see where we end up with that. But yeah, I've hacked it back. There's not a lot has survived. Literally sabre saw. We can do that, I suppose, but I don't know. I think I've gone as far as I can go today. Pretty worn out, to be honest. Tomorrow I'm going to start wallpapering because I'm losing the carpet. I don't like it on any of it. It just doesn't work. Taking that as far as I can go. But I'm going to drop the drawers, that door. I'm going to sand all fronts down, get some varnish on them. But today, well, the first job I'm doing today is I'm going to concentrate on getting wallpaper on that back piece, that piece of wall, and that underside. I've already cut one triangle out, and we've got one square to cut, and then we'll lay that in. The old battery's getting dead. Just thought I'd quickly shoot this out before I charge the battery up, because it'll be a few hours before I'll be able to pick camera up again. But you get the idea. Paper is on there quite nicely, no blistering, fairly firm. Next bit is to put a piece up there. We'll overlap that and we'll put a piece of wood across there, and then we'll build a frame around the window at some point. My triangle, that will go on there like so, with a fresh bit. Although I'm looking at this thinking to myself, maybe I should just stain that and varnish it, because that does look rather nice. It kind of works, doesn't it? But no, we are going to wallpaper that as well. Now I've sanded the edges over so the paper will roll over the sides. Got to cut another piece out down there as well, do the same on that, and then we've got to sand all of that back, get that tape off, cover that piece as well. The top surface on here, I don't think it will wear well with those seats on there. I don't think this is going to wear well with the backrests on there, but I just needed to blend it all in, and I think that looks so much better than that horrible carpet that I put on. There you go. Tell me that don't look better. Now we've got to get rid of the carpet on that side now. Clean up the window, sand it all down, alter the table. Oh, well pleased with that. On these ends pieces, I made separate panels, and I've actually glued up the stuff first, folded it around, hoping that the ends will last. See, we've got little issues like that going on. It's a blooming nuisance. That's the only thing I can think of to hold it down. So we'll put a piece of wood laid on there just to weight it where it started to tail up a bit. But yeah, I'm well happy with that. We've just got skirting boards to rectify, put those back on, and I'm not going to do nothing there apart from varnish. That's all I'm going to do, stain it up. I might not even stain it, I'll just straight varnish it. I'll give you an idea. I ain't got the bases and I ain't covered these yet, but they will sit on there like that. Excuse me. Right, apart from that little towel that's got to be sorted out, we'll strip carpet off that side now, sand all the wood back. The glue is still sticky. I put that on about 4 months ago, maybe longer, and this heat, I'm sure it's the heat, it's sticky. That may not hold. I can't give 100% yes it'll hold, because finding good quality glues is really difficult, as some of you might appreciate. So we can only but hope. I'm hoping as time goes by that it will cure off nicely, stay solid, and be an absolute nightmare to peel. I'd rather have trouble peeling it than have an easy time pulling it if I wanted to replace it. And that's the truth of the matter, because every wallpaper adhesive I've tried so far over the years, as soon as it gets damp, it's off, because it's water based. I haven't found a chemical based wallpaper yet. If I had, I'd use it. Right, is yee. So there you go. Right, moving on. Right, there you go. Pretty damn pleased with that. We've just got to extend the grey carpet, because that is the width it came and I couldn't do much with it. So I've got some spare scrappy bits that I'll cut and just glue in those gaps, and I think we're good to go on that. Corner pieces, I might sanded this back late last night. I thought, you know what, we'll get some stain on it, we'll just get it done. Yeah, it didn't come out as good. It's a little bit contagious, isn't it? there was a dye on here that my discs weren't really in a position to remove, so we've upgraded our discs, and I've just literally been here a minute and I managed to cut into that. So what I'm going to do is take this right back to bare wood now, get it even, I'll re-dye it and I'll get my smoother discs, but instead of using the DA I'll just literally run my hand over it a few times, because what happens is water based, so it opens the grain up, real nuisance when it comes to varnishing. But we'll sand it back, try and fill, sand down and get it even, and then we'll whack over some varnish, and then we'll get the other two cupboards and go with it from there. I've had to do a few fills here and there where there's some scuffs. Unfortunately, I had a feeling I wouldn't be able to get rid of that, and that's the problem with scratches, because the dye will highlight them. So I'm going to try and wipe that down further, but I don't really hold much hope on that one. The holes that I got is just going to be there. There's nothing I can do about them. Well, I say there's nothing I can do about them. I could cut it all out and drop a piece of ply in there, oak, and glue, but then you're going to see the outline of where the hole's been fixed. So again, it's just not worth the effort. And I have used the worst surface, because there's two surfaces, there's another one underneath. I've actually used the worst one for the front, when really I should have switched it around, because this could have been painted white to match the interior, but I didn't want to have to recut hinge grooves out, which is what I got going on here. I just really wasn't in the mood to do that, so this was the easiest of the two evils. We'll see how it pans out. If I can't get it any better, then I'll have to switch it around. This didn't go well. I had to turn it over in the end. I was going at it so hard, and let me just turn this over and I'll show you that. Bloody balls. I was going at it so hard that I was actually blowing through the ply, as you can see there. Look. So that side is going to end up on the inside after all. I haven't really got a lot of choice in the matter. I'll have to switch the hinges over the other side, which is not something I wanted to do, but here's what it is, isn't it? So with that in mind, that side will get painted white. We won't bother going any further with it. As soon as that happened, I knew I was in trouble. I have managed to keep it where I was just taking the surface of the varnish off. I did blow past a few places, but couldn't be helped. You see the natural colour. So this thing comes from the 80s. This was made in the 80s, and you can see that the under the door handle how light it is there. So it has dulled up over age, pretty much. So, but it had to be sanded back because it was dirt. I had loads of dirt that I couldn't get out. Better than it was. I'd rather we had a new one, but it is what it is, isn't it? This is before and this is after. The only problem we're getting is the wood is so dry, varnish is soaking in and it's bubbling, so we're going to need several coats of this stuff, and I'm going to have to sand each layer down quite rigorously because of these bubbles. But once we've got that wood sealed, it will come out hopefully really good. Need 2 or 3 more coats, and we've done the wardrobe door. So yeah, it's getting there. It's a lot nicer than it was before. Right. That's 2 coats so far. Still a bit patchy. We've got 1 coat on that, 2 coats on that, and we're about to put another coat on that. So yeah, I've been at this a good day so far. Go. There is 2 coats now on each one. We are going to go with a 3rd coat only. The 3rd reason why I'm not going to do any more is because I am running out of varnish. And the 4th reason, well, I actually can't remember what that 4th reason is, but I'm sure when I turn the camera off I'll remember. Right, this is nearly dry. You can see what I mean by the paint effect of the brush being knackered. There is bits of old varnish that's been flaking off. I need to throw that brush away. However, saying that, this is not a crying shame because we needed to get varnish on there to begin with. So, next payday, we'll rub this all down. So we're not going to put these back in the truck just yet, we'll leave them out. But I need to rub them all down and I need to fix that as well. Should have done that before I started, really. We'll get some new varnish, some new paint brushes, and we'll start all over again. Right, that's the third coat. It's getting better, but it's still not perfect. Those little specks you can see is actually air bubbles. What a day. Anyway, there you go. It's dry enough to move it. My question is, and I don't know if you can see that, how the hell can you get a run on a flat surface? So we're going to have to do a little light rubbing. I'm hoping that'll be dry enough tomorrow to be able to do that. But I've got my doubts. So I'm not going to try it just in case. Well, we'll see. We'll assess it. I don't know if you can see the angle, but there is still at least one more coat to go on. But I don't want to sand that surface down. So I'm now going to put these in the shed. They're still tacky, but it's too cold out here. We've got another frost coming. Third coat is now dry, but we've had an issue with this one. As you can see, it's bubbled up and I don't know why. So that one's going to need to be sanded back. That one's fine. I reckon it's the heat that's done that. The door is a bit it's dust. It's my biggest issue. It's everywhere, and this hasn't come out too bad either. I'm quite happy to put that back on now. Started the seats, and I can't pull that off to show you, but wooden frame all the way around, screwed in with the skinniest of screws, glued with polyurethane, built up the foam on the underside. This is actually going to sit a little higher than I really wanted it to, but it's the way it will be, as you can see. And then we'll thread the material flaps through those gaps, glue them in place to here. Once we've got it all tucked, and then we'll trim it, and then we'll make another piece of ply to go over the top, which will be held in with screws, little diddy screws, and then we'll put the two hinges in there and there. And about hinges, this is what I have done. In order to keep it in place, I cut hinge in half and screwed it down, quite literally. They were for the ladder originally. Now I've got to make a piece of board to go over the top just to tidy up. Might line it with PVC as yet, I don't know. But the other thing we're going to do at the backrest is we're going to get some gate hinges, and we're going to literally fold them around there, screw them to that bit there, and then hinge onto there. So when you lift it, that piece will stay attached to the base, and it will literally go up, and the whole thing will go up there like that, and then I can access the back board. There's also a piece of wood to go on the back as well to bring it away from the wall. That way we don't get any interference of the windows when we put the blinds up, and that will also allow me to make up a frame, which has been concerning me quite a bit, and we can put the headrest in place as well. Alright, as the first cushion's done. I might have made that one a bit on the puffy side. God, they're hard. I'm glad my arse is not on them. That's mine over there. Got a bit of money given to me tonight. I didn't know this, but I've kept this quiet. BT sent some money back because we've changed phone service. So I managed to get the hinges sorted out, the piano hinges, some glue, some screws, and that's what we'll come up with tonight. So tomorrow we'll make the woodwork for the backrests, and then we'll start hinging everything on, and we'll get this table out and get that put in the garden ready for modifications. And what else are we going to do? Varnish it up once we've done it, and we'll start sorting out this wall here. Lovely day, Saturday today. Normally I'd be putting the video up tonight, but can't do that. Anyway, I'm doing the backrest. I've already done one. This is the second one. I've added 2 blocks. That's the headrest to slide in. There, 2 holes there. and some reinforcement bars at the bottom. Let me demonstrate. There you go. What I will do is I will glue this all down, trim off the foam, remembering that this was designed for a steel frame, not a wooden one. Then we'll drill some holes in here at an angle for the headrest to slide in here. This is what will sandwich the headrest up. Unfortunately, I haven't done that on my seat, and I'm not pulling it apart, so there'll be 2 seats with heads and 1 without. And then we'll glue this all down so the foam is firmly against it. The only thing I ain't done yet is I've got to put some slits in for the stuff to pull through. So I'm just going to leave this now for the glue to fizz and bubble away, and then I shall return to it and do the final cuts, and then we'll glue this down and cover it. And here's one I did earlier. A bit dark, I'm afraid, sorry. There you go. And I've even put some buttonholes at the top for the headrests, but they're not really sticking as well as I'd like. Blinking nuisance. Can't do that one. Didn't put any kind of block. In fact, as you can see, the wood actually stopped halfway, so no headrest for that one, but there will be 2 headrests for those. Now I've got to make up a backboard to go behind because of obviously the untidiness of everything. There'll be a board going there, and then we'll hinge that to the base, and then the base, once I've done a backboard for them as well, to the actual seat frame. I was going to join these 2 together, but that ain't going to happen. You can see there's a bit of an overhang there as well. I'm having a little bit of trouble getting that all to fit, but it'll be fine. At the end of the day, it'll be fine. But I need more ply, and I ain't got enough. At least I don't think I have anyway. I need to have a look. I mean, I've got scraps that I could probably get away with using. A few bits of scrap lying about. Some in the garden. We've got the big long piece, matches that. In the kitchen we can cut. We've got some material, but I don't think I've got enough material to cover the plywood, to be honest. And we've got to put battens behind. Again, I've run out of wood, so I ain't got no battens. I was just trying to get another job. I say another job ticked off, but not one of these jobs is 100% finished. Been going through this. It's not finished. This is not finished. The battery tray to go in there. They're not finished because they've got to be wired in. Up the top, these 2. That's not finished because the seats weren't done and the varnish work isn't done. And I want to get rid of that stupid square light and put something a little bit more neater and tidy up there, so it ain't finished. The ladder isn't finished because I've got the side frames to do. The wardrobe isn't finished because, for obvious reasons. This isn't finished. That isn't finished. That isn't finished. That isn't finished. This isn't even started. And nor is the bed space. The cab isn't finished. The paint isn't finished. I've got a lot of work ahead of me still. Didn't put any provisions in for headrest on that one, but I have those in. Only problem is there's a couple of mistakes made. It's bagged up there, so I've got to take the tension off the back on that one, and it collapsed on the side. You can see how square it is there. Didn't put padding behind that side piece, so it's folded itself under. There's not a lot of room to get under this thing either. I'm wondering whether to take off that edge of that table a little bit more, so it's just a tiny bit more easier, or, and I don't think this is going to be possible because it's glued now, but put sliders on the table so it can move either way. We're definitely tilting this bit, but when we tilt this we're actually going to cut it along there, obviously in a straight line, because it won't fold down with that seat in the way. So we're going to do that. And the one thing I have noticed sitting on those 2 chairs, there's no arm room that side, and because there's no support this side, that feels like it's going to fall over. It's really weird to sit on. Not my seats. That's my seat. So yeah, I'll wait for the whinging to start once we're on the road, and then I'll do something about it. Right, so what's next? I want to hinge these down, but I can't at the moment until I've dealt with this table. I need to get the table out. I need to clear the table, get the table out. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it, I'm going to sand it, I'm going to hinge it, and then I'm going to sand it, and then I'm going to varnish it. And then it'll come back in when it's all done. And that'll take a few days to do that. And because I'm not uploading tomorrow, I might as well just keep this going and give you a 45-minute video. painting the door white. The primer went on really well. I found some old paint. It was 2K and single K, and I went and mixed it together before I realised I'd put 2K in there. So yeah, I tried to scrape it off with a bit of sandpaper because it was all coagulating in the tin. Really weird. And I went and put hairs everywhere. So this is going to require a little sand down, nothing major. Just get these brush dog hairs out, and then we'll put some regular paint over the top. See what I mean? Look, it's also blowing bubbles everywhere, but it has dried. That's the unusual thing about it. I wasn't expecting that to happen, but it did. I've also done the inside of the wardrobe in primer, so we just got the doorposts to paint white, fully painted white, and then we'll hinge this thing up regardless of whether I've done that or not, because that can be rolled in the truck. It's not an issue as long as I do it carefully. Anyway, moving on. Okay, it's Sunday. I didn't put camera on this morning, I just got on with it. So 3 coats of white plus flies, lovely flies, epoxy things. It's water-based paint on top of an automotive that, as you know, didn't go so well. But that will do. That's 3 coats on there. That's the last one. I'll just wash the door down when I'm done. The varnish work didn't go so well. Didn't allow the layers to dry properly. And this top layer, this last layer, and I can't remember what number we're at, 3 I think. It dried too quickly because the sun was so hot. So it peeled and played up, and this one is also a bit too soft, so I'm going to have to leave those for a few days and then put one final coat on. Dust, pain in the neck, absolute pain. There's a coat on this as well, and you'll notice that that flips up thus. I've discovered, or my wife has discovered, not me, I couldn't care less myself, miserable old sod that I am, apparently. She can't get under the table, you know, she can't get her legs under there, so I had to put a cheap ass piano hinge, as you saw earlier. Oh, they're horrible hinges, I tell you, horrible, flimsy, thin. Ugh. But that's on, it's not tidy, but you'll not see the damage because it's underneath. But I tried to put some varnish on, but it didn't quite go so well. I rolled it on. Oh, I don't know what's happened to it, apart from the fact that it's dust. The wind's blowing. Should have known better, really. But okay, that's ready to go back in, and I'm going to give it a final sand before I put it back in and varnish it all up once it's in place. And also, I primed it, and now I've put 2 coats of white. I've just got a brush for the battens that I put in because I can't get the roller to work on them. I reckon there's another 1 more coat to go in there just to get it right, and then I'll look at putting some sort of hanger up for the clothing once I've finished off. Done the frames on the outside, sort of. I've just got to trim that one up. Then I can sand that wall down, put the wallpaper on, and then make some trims with wallpaper. Bearing in mind, we are putting a block of wood on there, but I don't know how much wood is going to be showing. You know, this pine, I don't know how much will be showing, so I think if I put a plywood batten down there first with the wallpaper on, then the oak on top, but it will sit the same level as what the outer one is going to be all the way around, and we've got to sand that all back as yet. There's just no point at the moment. First wall I want to put in is that one. Once that one's in, I can get the door on then, get the door painted up. We've also got to get in here with some white paint as well at some point, sand the walls down and get in there. That ain't going to take much. The reason I'm doing them white is because when it's a bit on the dark side, you see, the white will helps illuminate the cupboards up a bit better, and it looks neater as well, as you can see. Well, I think it do. So that's it, really. That's all I've done today. I was up at 6 this morning, started all of this, so we'll get the table put back in at a later date. But I think another job I'm going to kick into gear soon is getting these seats properly fixed. Headrests are a pain in the arse on these two. I don't think they look that tidy, to be honest with you. I'm not really sure about them at the moment. They weren't easy to put on. As you probably just noted, I got the computer back. It's got a 1 terabyte C drive now. I am going to leave these out here to dry over the next couple of days or so. And I'm going to sand them back, and this time I'm going to wash them all down, fit them in the truck, which I'll have should have had the dust removed by that point. Get this out. It's impossible to get this out. And then we'll revarnish everything in the truck, including the table. So one last job to do is to hinge the seats, but guess what, the computer is back. So I'm calling it on this video because it's getting too long. I've got a handful of editing to do and I don't know where to start. Funny old day really. It's a chill in the air but it's hot at the same time. Anyway, I'm glad everybody, I've been watching a lot of YouTube's channels and you're all having a great load of fun in your vans, and I'm stuck in my front garden and it's really annoying me, do you know what I mean? So I hope you're all having a great load of fun, for the ones that are watching for the motorhome. The rat rod, there she sits. We ain't finished yet. I'm just waiting for a phone call from my friend to let me know that his kitchen is finished, and then maybe we can get up there and get that cam, and then I'll order some crank bearings, and then we'll start converting that over because I want a break from that lorry anyway. I'm getting fed up of it now. So until the next video, I'll catch up with you later. Thanks for viewing. Don't forget to press the thumbs up. It helps generate the algorithms, share it or something like that. I don't know. But that will benefit me in the long run, and that will benefit you in the long run. And please feel free to comment. I love comments, as I keep saying, but hardly anybody comments. I know everybody's out on their holes at the moment. That's why YouTube videos have took a bit of a hit on the numbers lately, and it's not just mine. I've noticed there's quite a few of you out there that are doing YouTube channels. But anyway, till the next time. So eager to close the video, I forgot to show you this. Now we are pretty much finished in there now. We just need to put a rail up. I'm happy enough with that. It's still a bit patchy in here, but I painted up in there as well. I just got to put a piece of wood at the top. I didn't sand before I painted. I couldn't be bothered. I knew I'd pay the price for that after making that decision. But it's good enough. I know it's a bit sloppy on me, but it's just so much to do. I've got to do something up in that corner there as yet. I don't know what. So yeah, it's getting there slowly. So seats we've got a hinge. I did one the other day, I think I'll show you. But we need to put a decent base down on the backs, just to hide everything that's been done. Really, ideally, I have got a bit of ply left, but I don't know if I've got enough ply. That's the problem. I've got a bit in there that I can chop up. There was a bit in the car, but I think I've took that out now. Yeah, might be some in the kitchen, I'm not sure, but I know there's a big length of it in the kitchen. Anyway, that's it, we're done.